Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Daggerfall Unity. Last time around we had basically been decorating our house, putting in some nice new furniture in here using the House Decorator mod, which I do highly recommend after last episode. It takes a little bit of getting used to, figuring out how to use it, but it certainly functions pretty well and it's allowed for a lot of nice additions to the house. So just to walk us through last time, we have this little plant here, we have the painting down, the chandeliers, this nice torch. This room could use some lighting still, but we got another nice painting above the bench here. And downstairs, we now have a statue there. I believe we added that plant too, and it all looks pretty natural, and as if it sort of belongs here. We have a pet dog now too. And of course, this little treasure room. So I was quite happy with the results of last episode, and if you'll recall, on the other side of the house, here on the right side, this space is not yet decorated, so I think this would be good for another time. But since we just did a house decorator episode and it was pretty long, I thought this episode it might be better to go do some more traditional Daggerfall stuff, such as questing. So for that reason, I think it's time to head back east into the areas of Sentinel and Wayrest to see if we can find something to do over there. Now, before we leave, I just wanted to make sure that we have our finances sorted out and our sold items we need to sell sorted out. We do have a lot of ingredients left here, and I believe that's because in the town that we usually hang out in the Rothgarian Mountains, the new region we've been settling in, there's an Alchemy Shop that has better prices than the Alchemy Shop here in the city of Daggerfall. Now, there is equipment here as well, though, that we could easily sell here, but I guess we can wait to sell all of this once we get to the Rothgarian Mountains again. I'll actually have to remind myself of what specific town we usually stay at over there. I've kind of forgotten, because it's been quite a while since we've been over there. I think it's Gothwark. I think I might have just located it on my first try, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I think it is Gothwark, but I could be wrong about that. But the first thing we actually need to do is to return a Cartographer's Guild quest, because if you'll recall, the reason we came out here in the first place was to do... Where is it? It should be one of these quests here. It's probably this one. Yeah. Was to do this Cartographer's Guild quest where we located Castle Necromagon. So now that we've done that, you need to head back to the Howling Huntsman Lodge in the Dragontail Mountains. So let's go ahead and locate that. I'm just trying to remind myself of what the Dragontail Mountains are. They're right here. So the Howling Huntsman. Let's head back now. And we'll take a ship to significantly reduce the traveling time, and here we go. I just realized I probably should have checked my letters of credit before I went over here, just to make sure finances and everything are sorted out, but it looks like we have plenty of money, so we're pretty good on that front. So, this is the Howling Huntsman Lodge, and I'm sure that the residence where we got the quest will be marked. I guess it's house for sale. It's probably this house over here, unless it was one of the inns. I actually think maybe I recall it being one of the inns where we found the cartographer. It might be, I think it was this one, the Lion and Helm. So let's head in here and just check it out. Yeah, this is the lady right here. Very good Pathfinder. Did you take a look inside? Others have told me about an awful moaning they hear from its depths. I'm happy to assign others to it all day long, even if it were to come out of my own pay. Speaking of pay, here's yours. So we get a pretty meager amount of gold, but we're just doing it for the fun of it, really. And now that we have the gold, I was thinking for this episode that we do another quest in the main quest line. Specifically, a quest for the princess, is she a princess? I think she's a princess, Medora, who lives on the Isle of Balfur. If you recall, she was exiled there, and we had to go free her from her spell, which we did do. I'm trying to find where the dungeon is. It's this one right here, Darini Tower. She was exiled on Darini Tower. And shortly after we finished that quest, we should have received, I believe we did, but I checked the wiki to make sure that this is how it goes, a vision from Medora telling her that she wants us to go contact Gortwog in Orsinium. Orsinium is the Orc region in Daggerfall. And we have been there before to do a quest where we had to recover something for Sentinel or Wayrest from Orsinium. We had to talk to Gortwog. It's quite a while ago, so again, if you don't remember this, I'm just catching everyone up. So that's the main quest, is to head to Orsinium, talk to Gortwog about this vision we got from Madura, and I think we'll get more details on what we need to do from there. So let's head over to Orsinium right now. Okay, so here we are in Orsinium, and oh, I'm just realizing, oh, I thought this was a town for a second, but this is sort of a strange looking place, right? Because oh wait, a strange presence overwhelms you, almost as if you're being watched. Proceed with caution. So that's a Broken War Mash's quest right there. I was going to say this is a strange place because it's a dungeon, but also a town. But I guess Orsinium is just sort of the capital of the Orc region. So even though this is a dungeon, it's also technically Gortwog's castle. So we'll head in now. So here we are in Gortwog's dark, dank castle. And actually, before I head in here, I want to refill my lanterns with some oil and use them. You know, spamming that light spell that we always use is kind of a pain, so I'd rather use lanterns if possible. Let's see if we can use this to refill our lanterns. Where are the lanterns exactly? Here they are. Okay, so this one needs to be refilled. So if I put it in my wagon and then I use this, that should refill it. Oh, it has no fuel left. Okay, maybe the opposite way around. I put this in my wagon, and now I use oil. We're wasting a lot of oil here, but it's all right. All right, there we go. And if we remove this, this should have oil in it too. Yeah, perfect. So these both have oil. I have one lit now. Let's head back into Orsinium. Okay. Now I think it got unlit for some reason. It's not giving me clear light here. Or maybe this is the light that it gives. Let's try turning it off and seeing what happens. I can barely notice any appreciable difference, which I guess means we have to use this as we usually do. Which is not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. So here's Gortwog. So I believe if we talk to him, if the quest is indeed running, which, as I mentioned, I believe we should have gotten a vision from Madura telling us to do this, then Gortwog should have some info for us. So let's save the game before we talk to him. Let's see what he has to say. So Madura wants the dust of restful death. So I guess the dust of restful death. In fact, maybe I can read the dialogue that Madura gives in the vision, just to make sure we're all clear about what the mission is going on here. I have the wiki page up here. So here's the vision that we got earlier. Your vision hazes and the world grows dim. Out of the gray, a woman's face appears. Medora. Titian, your efforts to free me have not been in vain. I have discovered a powder that will soothe the ghost of my beloved Lysandus. Now remember, she was exiled to Doreni Tower in the first place because she was basically Lysandus' mistress. However, it is in the hands of Gortwog, warlord of the Orcs, in the steel citadel of Orsinium. Go to him in Orsinium and see if there's anything that can be done to persuade him to give it to you and bring the powder to me in Doreni Tower once you have done it. So that's the reason we're going after this powder. So now that we're caught up on that, we'll continue this dialogue. Only because I respect the memory of King Lysandus will I do this. The dust can be found in the ruins of old Barbara's place on her own island. Tell Medora that the price is her support of my claim to the heart. She'll know what it means. Okay. Interesting. So we have some information from Gortwog, and he did tell us where the dust of restful death is. So we have to go and raid this this particular dungeon to find it. I'm glad we don't have to brave the depths of Orsinium again. I did that once, and it was quite a consuming experience in terms of time it took to do it. I'm trying to see if there's an inn around here. There isn't. This almost looks like the exterior of an inn, but it's not, because we need to rest to restore our fatigue a little bit, because we're pretty low. Maybe we should just wander into the wilderness and try and rest out here, even though, you know, generally speaking, you can often be interrupted in your attempts to rest. Let's try resting right here. I cannot sleep now. How about now? There are enemies nearby. Right away. We got someone to fight. Holy, okay. There you are. I wasn't even able to rest 1 hour without this person rudely interrupting me. At least we'll get some good loot from doing this. Okay, still enemies. We were able to rest a little bit longer there before being interrupted. Centaurs are so much weaker than humans at this point. I'm not sure how the scaling works, but I have to imagine that centaurs somehow scale a lot worse into later levels of the game than humanoids do. Just gonna throw all that into my wagon. grab all of that. Wow, there really is a lot. We even got enchanted challenger straps. So those are some things that we can... Ooh, did I equip it by accident? I meant to throw it in here. Hold on. I gotta... I didn't mean to put them on. I'd rather have this on, actually. But we'll put that on once we enter the dungeon. I want to throw these into our wagon. Same with the ingredients. Now, can we please rest in peace just for a few hours? Now, there's still one more centaur to take care of, which means there's a lot more loot to transfer into our wagon. We'll do that once we're done resting. This is why I hate resting in the wilderness. It is a very unproductive venture. Where are we getting attacked from? I can't even see. Turn the light on. There we go. Gotta love that Starry Night, though. That is the enchanted or enhanced sky mod. Excuse me. Grab all of that. Please just let me rest in peace. Oh my goodness, we were so close. You know what? I'll take it. This is rested enough. Just a Spriggan and a wolf. Wolves are excuse me, a saber-toothed tiger is what I should say, which is a pretty weak enemy. My goodness, this is really a populated wilderness here. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take the fatigue we have now and go ahead and head over to the dungeon. So, throw all this into our wagon, same with our weapons and armor that we got. And I think what we'll do is we'll go to the dungeon, collect weapons and armor from there, as I'm sure we will, and then we'll take all of it back to Rothgarian Mountains after finishing our quest for Medora. So let's go ahead and head over to the place Gortwog told us to go. Let's check what it is again. It can be found in the ruins of Old Barbara's place. Okay. Let's head to the ruins of Old Barbara's place. Okay, that was not actually what I wanted to do. Ruins of Old Barbara's place. Oh, I think maybe it's not a location in Orsinium. I think it's a location here, actually. Quite possibly. Let's check. Yeah, ruins of Old Barbara's place. So it's actually a place on the island of, what is this island called again? Balfura. So let's head over there right now. And it's still so dark. I might actually go into the manual settings of Daggerfall Unity and increase the light given by torches, because I feel like torches are just never as useful in terms of seeing things in comparison. Oh, hello, we have a harpy here. I gotta get off my horse to fight this thing. Torches are never as useful as the Light the Way spell in terms of giving light. And the Light the Way spell is kind of annoying because you get this candle right in front of you. Holy crap, there are a lot of harpies. This would be the sort of dungeon exterior, but if you were first starting the game, would be hard to deal with, but since we are such a high level, don't really affect us. I also wanted to mention, actually, you've probably noticed at this point that the humanoids are really, pretty tough to kill still, while animals like saber-toothed tigers are very easy to kill in the late game. And that's actually a problem, or that is remedied by something called meaner monsters, which changes the way that monsters, sort of the stats the monsters have. So a few things have been downgraded, like bats and rats, while things like tigers have been upgraded, which makes a lot of sense. I haven't installed it yet for whatever reason, but I think it'd be something worth checking out. Anyways, let's head into this dungeon and set a recall spell here, an anchor, and then save our game. Oh, actually, before we save our game, let's go ahead and just throw on all the equipment we already know we're going to want to throw on for dungeon crawling. I guess that's all. And then which one of these? We only need this one on. This is our selling stuff diamond. And this should all be in our wagon. And one of the main reasons I haven't yet installed Meaner Monsters is that there's a whole set of mods that are really intended to make Daggerfall more sort of hardcore. What I mean by this is, like, the loot is more realistic and less prevalent. They get rid of level scaling, which I really like. I don't like level scaling in RPGs in general. That's one of my main problems with the Elder Scrolls games. So it gets rid of that and replaces it with more realistic fighting. Then there's stuff like weather mods that make it so you have to be careful for conditions. Encumbrance effects, things like that. So all of it is really intended to make the game more hardcore. And I thought that might be fun to do in sort of a separate playthrough. Of course, I'm already sort of devoted to this one big Let's Play. We could potentially put the settings on now, but it feels weird to put mods that turn level scaling on once you're already level 20 in the game. One idea I had was to sort of do. I've wanted for a while to do maybe some Daggerfall Unity live streams. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And on those live streams, so as not to, you know, make progress in this without putting it in a video, I could make a whole new character, and on that new character, I could be using the sort of hardcore role-playing mods and do a whole new build. And that would be a fun new way to experience Daggerfall. Since this is sort of a more casual game, and game in terms of the fact that we don't have all the hardcore mods on. There's even a mod that lets you do Iron Man version of the game where you can't die, but that seems a little too hardcore even for me, because I imagine that not dying in Daggerfall really hard, especially when you have mods that make the game harder on its own. So that's my reasoning, or my thoughts on potentially doing a Twitch stream with a whole new character that's a little bit more hardcore in terms of the difficulty and the mods that we're using. Because this sort of Let's Play just started out as a way to showcase Daggerfall Unity and all the different things that come with it. And so that might be a fun way to showcase something a bit different. Anyways, enough about that. We are currently in this dungeon looking for the Dust of Restful Death. Now, I'm not sure if it's an item or if it's an NPC we have to kill. Gortwog wasn't exactly clear about it. This dungeon itself is just a standard randomly generated dungeon. It's not like a main quest dungeon. So Gortwog sort of sent us somewhere random. So we just have to keep our eyes out for secret doors and keep looking on the floor, because that does sound like the sort of thing that might appear as an item. So we'll look around for that. This guy is very tough, and he does not appreciate the abuse. Okay. No, I think I might have... Did I remember to set a recall spell at the start of the dungeon? I'm not sure if I did, but I hope I did, so that we can actually get out of here pretty easily. Okay. I can't believe that was a backstab. It looked like we were right next to him. Surely you would have thought he would have detected us. We need to heal ourselves up here a bit before we fight this guy. I'll take all of that. All of this, and this loot right here. That statue is going to be pretty heavy. And there's a mummy behind a hidden door here. What is this? Lich dust. Lich dust. What is this? Is this a letter? What is that? It looks like this could be the quest item. Let's try reading this. Warl. This parchment was used as a wrap for the packet of powder. Some of its message is now illegible. Lady Med, okay, that must be Lady Medora, something favor, they intend to slay him. I'm sending messengers, maybe something fighters, to stop them. You must support me. If the Empire finds I have attacked royal advisors of Wayrest, it must be. Even if they are assassins, my people will never win the same statues and respect as the Khajiit. However, with your support, I something, a hero of my empire, and win respect from my people, Gortwog. Okay, interesting. So it looks like Lady Medora and Gortwog have a sort of relationship, well, not a romantic relationship, but a sort of business relationship going on. Or at least Gortwog wants the support of Medora. So I believe that's the quest item. It just says Lich Dust. I'm not sure if that's, I think that's probably the right item. But we couldn't say for certain. I guess we'll head around the dungeon a little bit more, just for fun. In case there's something we're missing, but we also have some more inventory space to grab items, so we might as well see if we can kill some more monsters. And, there's another thing I wanted to talk about, and dungeon crawling is the perfect opportunity when you don't have as much to talk about, which is, hello, take you out. And that backstab is really effective. I think an assassin build with high backstabbing could be a pretty fun one to try in this game. Anyways, the thing I wanted to talk about while we're dungeon crawling is potential ideas that I have for future content on the channel. We don't need potion recipes. I'll leave that on that body. Because, the main thing I release is pretty much just the Let's Play videos for this particular series. And I've mentioned other videos in the past, but I have some more concrete ideas for what I want to do. And sticking with the RPG theme of the channel so far, I thought about maybe sort of showcasing some old or ancient or forgotten RPGs in a more edited style, a more professional style, rather than just doing a simple Let's Play. because there are definitely some ancient-looking old RPGs, and there's just something, you know, sort of charming, in my opinion, about really, really old games. I don't know if it's the graphics or the arcane mechanics, but something about it keeps me coming back. And, you know, from my childhood, growing up playing computer games, I'm familiar with a lot of these games that I feel have been somewhat... I accidentally just cast a light the way 3 times thinking it was my heel. That was pretty stupid. But as I was saying, there are games from my childhood that I remember that are pretty forgotten. You know, you don't find much content around them. Maybe a Let's Play here or there on YouTube, but it might be fun to sort of do a deep dive into them. So that was one of my ideas for other videos. I think I already mentioned in another Let's Play the sort of exploring dead MMOs idea, which is essentially an idea to make a video series where you explore dead MMO RPGs where there's no one in there, maybe with a group of friends or something. So that's still sort of in the works. But that is my idea. So if anyone has any... Here's water, but I don't want to go in there. I hate water in this game. If anyone has any feedback or advice on that, feel free to leave it in the comments. Regardless, I think that's the main thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm pretty confident that what we received that Lich Dust is the correct item. So now we need to head back to Medora's castle, and I don't remember if I said a recall spell, so I'm going to save the game and try recalling and see what happens. 848. I'm pretty certain it's not going to work, though, because our mana bar is pretty low. Is it even worth taking the risk and teleporting somewhere random only to have to reload the save? Well, I guess we'll try it. We'll try it. Let's see what happens if we recall here. It's teleport. Oh, no, it did work. Okay, we remembered to set it. Okay, that's good. For some reason, I thought we didn't. Perfect. So let's head out of here. And we will save the game. Now, the only concern that I have here is that we now need to head to Medora, and Medora is in this dungeon that's massive, and finding her in the first place was pretty hard, and I don't want to have to re-find where she was. And I'm pretty sure that our map won't save going back in, even though we've already been through the whole thing. So I'm not sure what the best approach for this is going to be. I'm thinking maybe just sort of following a guide on how to get back to her, because is it worth dungeon crawling through this dungeon we've already been to find someone we've already been to, like, I think twice at this point. We had to go back to her for a number of other reasons. So we'll figure that out in a second. For now, let's just travel over there. Okay, so here is Darini Tower. We have indeed been here before. Longtime viewers will probably remember having come here. And the entrance is on the other side. And this is a main quest dungeon. So the dungeon we were just sent to was randomly generated. This is main quest, meaning that it is probably pretty big. And I don't know why I'm saying probably pretty big. We know for a fact it's pretty big because we've been here. And there's already I think this is a trapdoor of some sort, but anyways, right, let's check the map here. So, yeah, we have been here before. I don't remember how we found Medora, but I don't see the point in re-dungeon crawling through this, because it's one of the situations you can see the door's already open. We've already killed the NPCs in here, so I think maybe I'll just follow a sort of guide on getting back to Medora, because I don't see the fun in sort of dungeon crawling through this place we've already been. So I'll actually even maybe pause things while I pull that up and walk over in that direction. Yeah, you'll all probably remember this. This is the big room that you get into, and there's traps. That fireball was a trap that you just heard. I'm not even sure if we got hit by it. But yeah, I'll back up and just follow a guide on how to get there, and I will resume the recording when we're there, or when I've gotten the guide up. Okay, everyone, so I have almost arrived where Medora actually is. I just followed a brief guide to get back to this general place, and you may recognize this, some of the puzzles that happen. Luckily, we've already done all the puzzles to actually open up the passageway over to Medora, and it involved, you know, pushing these walls out of the way using levers. But since we've already done all of it from, you know, the time we came here before, we don't need to do any of it again. You can tell by these banners we're about to approach her chambers, and here she is. So we can finally talk to her and finish this quest up. So let's see what she has to say. This is indeed the dust of restful death. As for that letter, it was from Gortwog. To me, though I never got it. I've heard from him later that his orc warriors were slain attempting to ambush the assassins. Gortwog and his orcs are not the villains most people see them as. Edwir and the court of Wayrest have never been particularly loyal to the Empire. To assassinate a king is treason. I will have my revenge, but first I must find out why Edwir would risk this. So, let's see. So orc warriors were slain attempting to ambush the assassins that were going after Lysandus, I suppose. And the court of Wayrest apparently is involved in the assassination of the emperor. At least that's what we're getting from this. So she says, give me a moment to prepare Vidust. So now she's preparing Vidust to get more information. That way we've given it to her. And my understanding is at some time in the future we'll get another quest from her. But for the time being, that is the main quest that we're going to do. So we have finished up here, and we can now head back to the start of the dungeon. And along the way, I encountered like a vampire or two, but really no enemies at all, so not much has happened in the time you all have been missing from the journey here. So that was the Dust of Restful Death quest for the main quest line. And we're now going to head back to, I guess, the Rothgarian Mountains to sell some of the goods we've gotten from the dungeon crawling that we've been doing. I think I forgot to set a recall spell at the start of this dungeon, so I'm just going to teleport to the exit of it so we don't have to walk all the way back through the castle here. And let's save the game. Okay, and now we can head out. And we have some spiders awaiting our exit here. Got rid of them, and let's get rid of, or not get rid of, but take off our enchanted items so that we can travel without having them degrade. Perfect. So back to the Rothgarian Mountains we go. I'm pretty sure Gothwark is the place that we've been taking up residence where we can sell our goods. I'm pretty sure, at least. I think Gothwark's the place. So let's head there, and if we're wrong, we can always reload the save. So let's travel recklessly. We'll take a ship to get there faster, and here we go. It's actually been a little while since we've been here. This is sort of the Rothgarian Mountains, if you remember, is the region that yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the right town. Is the region that we have been hanging out in now that we're not in Daggerfall, because Daggerfall was giving us repeat dungeons. I thought it'd be fun to, you know, settle somewhere new, and Rothgarian Mountains is a pretty big region, so it's likely, you know, that we'll get a lot of interesting dungeons around here. And interesting places to go, even though some quests, because it's so big, you know, you take a lot of time to travel from place to place. Regardless, let's go ahead and head to, I think Dunester's General Smithy is probably a good place to land here. I think this place gives pretty good prices. Let's check. Yeah, alright, this is a good place to sell our stuff. So, let's go to sell, and we have a lot of things to sell here. So, go in the wagon. Everything other than the Daedric. And actually, I always forget, before we sell anything, we ought to throw on our enchanted diamond to get better prices. And now we can sell things. All of this. And we'll probably want to sort through our Daedric pretty soon here, because I think we have repeats of Daedric armor that we can sell, but I haven't bothered to look through it yet. Anyways, 96,000 gold, that's a lot of money. Very happy with that outcome. And next up, we have all these ingredients we have for selling, both in our wagon and in our inventory here. And while we're at it, actually, let's see if we have enough mana for the enchant spell, or the identify spell, I mean. Where is identify? No, we don't. Okay. So once we get more mana, we can identify those enchanted challenger straps we picked up from one of the NPCs, or enemies, I guess I should say, that we killed earlier. For now, let's head up over to the Alchemy Shop. I believe it's this one in the most northeast corner of town that gives the good prices. And we can sell all of our ingredients, and I guess we'll wrap it up there since we've done a quest for the main quest. Usually they're actually more involved in this. They involve going to much bigger dungeons, but this one was more simple. It was more like a sort of a regular quest you'd get, just in the context of the main quest. We did get some interesting information. I'm thinking hopefully maybe in one of these episodes pretty soon I'll try and recap some of the major info we've gotten from all of our adventures doing main quest stuff, since I know it's kind of hard to keep track of it. It's a very branching and convoluted main quest line, which is good in a lot of ways, actually. I like that it's complicated, and there's a lot of political action going on and political intrigue. Anyways, let's sell all of our ingredients here. We'll keep this ruby for enchanting purposes. Everything else can go, though. This is just in our wagon. I think we have a lot of ingredients in our inventory as well to get rid of. All of this should go. And we'll sell that, and that's not really as much, but it's still quite a lot. We now have almost 200,000, which is a ton of money. And how much do we have in our banks? I think this is the amount just in the bank. So we have this 370,000 plus the 200,000 in inventory plus another 300,000 or so in Daggerfall, so quite a lot of money. It actually would be good at some point to stop by these sort of minor regions like Phrygius. I mean, when are we ever going to be going back to Phrygius and pulling our money out of the banks there? For now, I think we'll wrap things up. So thank you all for watching. I do apologize again that I've been much more inconsistent in releasing these in recent times. You know, it has been quite busy, but know that I certainly will never stop uploading these, and though I plan to be more regular with uploading, no promises. I tend to fluctuate in my, you know, work ethic for uploading things regularly, so you never know if I'm going to be another week or if I'll be able to release it on my normal schedule, which has been every other day. But regardless, thank you all for you know, loyally watching these episodes for so long. I hope you enjoy them. Let me know if you have any suggestions or video ideas or comments on the stuff I talked about this episode, and I will see you all next time. In which, what will we do next time? I think maybe we'll go back to maybe doing some faction quests or doing some local region things, since we just did a quest for the main quest line. So we'll do some more. There's still some more, you know, quests for the Mages Guild and such that I want to check out. So no exact plan, but certainly something in that ballpark, I think. So I will see you then.